I gotta be honest, when the title of this movie was first announced, I wasn't a big fan, but it did grow on me after a while. For instance, it's pretty clever, like if you say the name of the first one, Beetlejuice, and then you say the name of the second one, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, then you'll have said it 3 times. So Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice is the sequel to the 1988 cult classic, and it picks up many years after the original. Lydia Deetz is a celebrity of sorts, famous for her exploits in the paranormal, and while her relationship with her father and stepmother is decently healthy, we learn that her relationship with her daughter Astrid is rocky to say the least. When Lydia's father unexpectedly dies, they return home to Winter River for the funeral, where the mysterious model of the town is still intact. And of course, Beetlejuice is still hell-bent on coming back to the world of the living. Hey, Guy with No Name here. If you didn't know, I love to talk about movies, TV shows, and video games, and I'm still pretty new at this, but I do want to say thank you before anything else, because I've been trying to get to 200 subscribers, and I got there. In fact, I think I'm at like 212 last I checked, which is huge for me. You know, I know I can compare myself to other channels, and it's nothing, it's crumbs, but I'm comparing myself to where I was when I started out, and I'm just super excited. I'm blown away, and I appreciate your support, and with that being said, my goal was 200, and I'm there, so I'm good, you know? I made my goal, I made it. In fact, 12 of you can even unsubscribe if you want. I don't care. No, I obviously am going to keep trying to grow the channel and obviously move the goalpost. I'm trying to get, just so you know, 500 subscribers is the first milestone, I guess, I need to get to start the monetization process and just go from there. So, but you know, we'll take it incrementally. So I guess next goal is 250, halfway to 500. So, but yeah, really excited. Appreciate your support and appreciate your continued support. Let's get back to the review. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice is directed by Tim Burton and stars Winona Ryder as Lydia Deetz, Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice himself, Jenna Ortega as Astrid Deetz, Catherine O'Hara as Delia Deetz, Lydia's stepmother, Justin Theroux as Rory, Lydia's boyfriend and manager, Willem Dafoe as Wolf Jackson, a detective in the afterlife, and Monica Bellucci as Dolores, a mysterious ghost who is on the hunt for Beetlejuice. So brace yourselves, I have a confession to make. I actually don't get the love for the first one. I know, that might be crazy, that might undercut all my credibility to you, but I actually, so it came out before I was born, but I had seen scenes of Beetlejuice, but never watched it in its entirety until this week, and I gotta say, I didn't like it that much. It's okay, there are scenes that are good, but ultimately, I was pretty underwhelmed, and so, you know, the one good thing about that is, I guess, I went into this one with, you know, no nostalgia whatsoever, except maybe seeing Michael Keaton back and Winona Ryder back. I mean, I couldn't help but feel nostalgic about that, but other than that, I really didn't go in with high expectations, and I gotta say, I ended up liking this one more than the first. Now, I will say the plot is a bit too busy. There's a bit too much going on, a bit too many characters, and it does feel overstuffed at the end of the day. And contrast that with the first one, where one of my biggest complaints there was that I felt like the plot was a little too simple and there were some slow parts to me. So I ultimately preferred the sequel's approach, but it did feel like an overcorrection. And performance-wise, Michael Keaton has a lot more to do in this, and he does great and convinces you that he's the only one who should ever play this role. The standouts definitely were Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, and Catherine O'Hara. I thought they all did great. Monica Bellucci also did great. She unfortunately just didn't have that much to do, so it's not her fault. She did the best with what she could, but I gotta be honest, Winona Ryder's performance was a bit shaky at times, and you know, I liked seeing her back, and I think she got the job done at the end of the day. It just, some lines weren't delivered so great, in my opinion. It kind of reminded me of Carrie Fisher in The Force Awakens, where I know she hadn't acted for a while, so she was a bit rusty, and you could definitely tell. I know there were some lines I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound that good. But luckily, you know, there was a huge improvement between that and The Last Jedi. I thought she did great in that movie, regardless of your thoughts on that. But back to this, yeah, Winona Ryder, I don't know how much acting she's done lately, but it did just feel like she was a bit rusty. Tim Burton, and Danny Elfman for that matter, really knocked it out of the park. You can tell it's exactly the movie that it was intended to be, and take it from someone who just watched the first Beetlejuice 24 hours before the second, it's really seamless watching them back to back. You can tell that great care was taken to make it look and feel similar, and you know, there's even sets that are exactly the same as they looked in the original. And yes, there is some CGI, but there's tons of practical effects, and when they do use CGI, they really try to make it look practical. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that Beetlejuice has all the Tim Burton-esque qualities that you would expect from it. It's dark, it's funny, it's irreverent, it's gross, it's weird, it's cartoony, and I might even go so far as to say that this one actually nails that tone better than the original, but I may very well be in the minority. I would give Beetlejuice a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and to me that's still a good rating. I did enjoy it overall, and I would highly recommend it to any fans of the original. And I'd still recommend it to people who saw the original and didn't really understand the hype like myself. I think that both groups of people will enjoy this movie, at least to a certain degree. And do you have to, you know, have to had watched the first one to enjoy this one? No, I don't think so. I think it'll enhance your enjoyment overall, but you can really garner what you need to from this movie without having seen anything else. I think the main thing to worry about is just preparing yourself for the, like I said, the Tim Burton-esque tone that you're going to be getting into. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've seen the first one or not, and if you're a fan of that one or not, and if you've seen the new one, how did it compare? Or do you think I'm crazy that the first one is miles better, or did this one actually, does it take the top spot for you? Thank you guys so much again, like I said, for all your support, and if you enjoyed this video, check out my recent reviews of the movie Reagan and also Alien Romulus. This is Guy with No Name, signing off.